So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this part of the session program of this amazing Congress. This session specifically will be on the presentation of the EDIDesK project, an international Erasmus Plus project that I'm leading along with the amazing contribution of some colleagues that are also here today. The presentation is entitled EDIDesK project, and today we are going to present what we are doing and what we have done so far. The presenter list that you can see on stage is basically the list of chairs that will speak today. I'm going to present. I'm Emilio Rossi, assistant professor from University of Chieti Pescara, and I'm also the principal investigator of the project. Along with me, you will see contributions from Marta Piekoszka, sorry for the pronunciation, from Academy of Fine Arts in Katowice, Susana Szeresnowa from Slovak Technological University in Bratislava, and my colleague Rossana Gaddi from Gabriele D'Annunzio University of Chieti Pescara in Italy. So let's begin talking about the structure of our project in terms of aim and specific motivation. Our project moved from a very detailed analysis of the background and surrounding conditions that may be useful to develop a Erasmus Plus project on cooperation for the higher education sector. We are universities working in the field of design, and our motivation to contribute to the discussion started from the analysis of the sector specifically. The design sector is really paramount for the European Union, both in terms of workforce and also in terms of annual revenue. Designers shape society in many ways, from product to services, from communication to liaising at different points with different stakeholders, from private companies to final users and public administrations. And along with recent trends in the society, one of the key trends that is emerging very clearly in design is about inclusivity. Inclusivity is not only a subject that is very important for designers, but also for the whole society. And it's fully recognized that designers may play an important role in the society in order to shape solutions that may fit very well the demands for users in having inclusive solutions. At the same time, this mirrors the impact that inclusivity is having across different sectors. And one of the most strategic one is obviously the higher education sectors. You need to consider that just in Europe, there are around 700 design schools legally recognized by national ministries that in some ways contribute to deliver high quality teaching on inclusivity. The more we deliver inclusivity effectively, the more the society will be able to accept and embrace inclusive solutions. Inclusivity is also an umbrella term that we often use when we refer to inclusive solutions. And to be specific, we need to refer to equality, diversity, and inclusion. From this, delivering accurate teaching on design for EDI is paramount, not only because designers should be able to embrace holistically a culture of inclusivity, but mostly because the more we work effectively, the better society will be able to use solutions that are fully inclusive, they fully respect the quality, and also make an equilibrium in terms of diversity in order to reduce risk and mitigate barriers. It's not all gold with glitter, so we need to consider that if from one side inclusivity is recognized as paramount, as very important for higher education institutions, there are some problems related to EDI that may impact at a different level the life of people that work within higher education institutions. One of these is, for example, the fragmentation of knowledge. We fully know what is inclusivity, but often we cannot properly define and incorporate it within our undergraduate and postgraduate curricula. This generates obviously some problems that may generate in a later stage snowball effects, such as biased contents. What is perceived like inclusive for me couldn't be perceived inclusive for someone else, somewhere else. Working in order to make clear what really inclusivity is can be really important in order to make everybody in the same condition and to speak the same language. The absence of teaching standard, is also an important issue to overcome. What is told like inclusive design or design for inclusivity is not the same if you consider different countries. Cooperation among academics is also a collateral effect from this biased culture on inclusivity, and people often don't work together just because they think to belong to different schools, such as universal design, inclusive design, etc. Again, the digital means that we should use today are only seen like instrumental tools to spread knowledge, rather than, if included since the beginning of teaching curricula, they may be really important in order to spread voice. And finally, solutions made by designers trained by using biased knowledge on EDI and design may be very risky in the long run if placed in a global market. So in order to overcome this, we need to find interesting opportunities to work together. Starting from this, we started researching into the topic in order to identify promising opportunities to work with. So our project tries to make a significant progression on the academic debate around topics related to design for EDI, design through EDI, and we expect to make impacts at the academic level, at least at the European level. We would like to critically explore what are the motivations behind biased contents in order to frame this problem and provide useful recommendation for others in order to replicate our strategic aim. Foster international collaboration is crucial in order to join a collective efforts, because at the end of the day, most of the academics working in design for EDI want to achieve the same goal. And it's important to enable them to be part of a collective mass of scholars that work toward the same strategic goal. Finally, but not less important, reducing the gap and the professional and increasing the professional training of students that want to enter in a market which is already ready to accept solutions designed in the way of inclusivity. So the essence of this project can be also summarized in the acronym that is behind is the original word connotating the project is Open Access Contents on Design for Equality, Diversity and Inclusion in Higher Education programs. And EDIDesK means Design Knowledge for EDI. Is a European project supported by the Erasmus Plus program involving 5 higher education institutions and 2 NGOs working in design at different levels and different countries. As you can see from the picture from our slide, there are 6 countries involved, and activities will be performed at least in 6 countries, although the universities are 7. It's a 3-year project involving collaboration, sharing best experiences, sharing knowledge, developing original results in order to leave the European territory with a set of open results that may be used freely in an open access modality and mostly in a multi-language manner. But saying that the project is involving 7 institutions in 6 countries, it's literally not enough to explain the magnitude of our consortium. I say that there are 5 higher education institutions and 2 NGOs, but let me show you who they are. The project is led by the Gabriele D'Annunzio University of Chieti Pescara Department of Architecture Design Group. But along with my group, there are fantastic partners such as Academy of Fine Arts in Katowice, Poland, Slovak Technological University Bratislava, Slovakia, Elisava School of Design and Engineering in Spain, and University of Florence in Italy through the Department of Architecture. These are academic institutions involved. Two important NGOs working at the European level contribute to increase the quality of the project and spread the message locally, internationally, and worldwide. And when I say international institutions, I mean Design for All Europe, which is an important organization committed to equality and inclusivity in design, and Cumulus Association, which is the probably the most important association gathering design schools worldwide. All together compose what I call the dream team of the EDIDesK, and through which we can do amazing things together. Some of the things that we have done, that we will do, will be shared very soon by two of my colleagues. In terms of activities, we developed a process, an organic process to develop information that can be part of a work chain that can reinforce itself over time. We obviously started from understanding positive and negative aspects about the concept of EDI applied to design education today in different countries. We run surveys, we made interviews with experts, and we reflect a lot in a collective manner to identify virtuous models that can be replicated, but mostly understanding what are the nature of bias behind common mistakes that can be observed. More specifically, this part will be discussed very soon by my colleague Marta from Academy of Fine Arts in Katowice more extensively. The second part of the project, if this part is research, the second part is induction. So having understood what is the main limit so far, let's try to move into something proactive. Therefore, we will make probably the first European framework to correctly teach design for EDI in an open manner. And after understood what are the limits, it's important for us to propose something that can be accepted by the widest possible community in order to correctly use what we know and in order to replicate effectively our strategic mission of the project. We will make experimentation with students. We can also identify what works well and what doesn't, in order to, in the last stage of the project, create a platform where everybody can upload and download open access contents in a multi-language modality. This is what we would like to leave to others in order to make the essence of the EDI project lasting for time. So modules and contents will be recorded by partners. We will ask everybody to contribute if they want, but at the same time, this will be a platform where everybody can collect and apply immediately information that will be uploaded. The project is in fact targeted toward the three main groups of beneficiaries. Obviously, students as a future generation of society shapers through which they can get information from EDI, they can access to a variety of information, and in a later stage, they can enrich their design curricula formally and informally. But at the same time, we would like to inspire teaching staff to take part of the project so that they can also gain benefit from what we can create and through the collective effort of the whole community that will join the project. And finally, as a long-term impact, we would like to inspire companies and professional markets in hiring and working with designers with a strong curriculum in design for EDI, so that in a later stage, that when they will produce products and solutions for the market, such solutions will already be tailored for the widest possible users because designed inclusively. To conclude my part, in terms of expected result, we are expecting to develop 4 main results. From work package number 2, specifically the research part of the project, we created an interactive map of contents and information related to the teaching of EDI, design for EDI, design through EDI, and design with EDI. As a part of work package number 3, so the inductive experimentation that we will make in studios in different countries, we would like to propose the European teaching framework on design for EDI that will be suitable for many subject areas, not only for industrial design, but also for architecture, urban planning, visual communication, digital communication, and so on. The last part, the last work package, will produce 2 important results. Obviously, an open access platform where everybody can access to in order to gain information from design, from modules covering design for EDI according to many levels of commitment, and contents will be tailored for different levels of students, from undergraduate to postgraduate. Better engagement is also expected because the platform is not just a platform collecting mocks, but it will be also a platform where everybody can interact, share experience, and take part in this project to give sustainability over time. And finally, the platform will also contain the first set of open access contents that we will develop in a later stage of the project. And that's all for my part. Thanks for attention. I invite on stage my colleague Marta Gierkoszka from Academy of Fine Arts in Katowice.
Thank you, Emilia. Perfect. So I will tell more about the research and the aim of the research about the few last months. So we aim to better understand the current landscape of EDI in design education, what needs to be addressed in the curriculum, what topics, issues, or perspectives are currently missing, alongside what skills should be promoted among students to prepare them to become designers who are both socially responsible and technically competent. Finally, the most important question is how we should teach the EDI approach effectively. What methods, strategies, and tools will ensure that our students not only understand the principles of EDI, but can also successfully integrate them into their design practice. So the research consists of 4 stages. We began by analyzing teaching models that cover aspects of EDI from 4 countries, Poland, Slovakia, Spain, and Italy. We were reviewing a total number of 112 modules. In parallel, desk research was conducted on digital and traditional teaching tools and methods that support education incorporating EDI values, covering 65 examples. In the next stage, we selected 35 modules with the greatest potential for further investigation, and we conducted interviews with academic teachers to gain a deeper understanding of their teaching practices and the challenges they face. This allowed us to identify 15 best practices that cover essential teaching content. In the final stage, we combine these best practices with the teaching methods and tools identified in the first stage, which with a focus on leveraging digital process spaces for education. So the first step in the research was to establish a shared understanding of design education across the partner countries. We needed to map out the different types of design modules and their roles in the curricula of each country. This was crucial for achieving comprehensive result. A key part of our work has been defining the core features of design courses and creating a taxonomy that reflects the various structures and frameworks in the different programs. To achieve this, we developed a simple 5-level scale. At the lowest level, a course covers only basic EDI topics. As we move up the scale, there is an increasing focus on student projects related to EDI, and at the highest level, there is a full integration of EDI into the course, with students incorporating it into every project. And the systems allow us to measure how effectively EDI is being taught and where there is a room for improvement. The next stage involved identifying the types of modules that form the curriculum structure at each partner university. And we distinguished 6 types, starting from basics of design, theoretical subjects, and design studio, as well as activities outside the formal curriculum. And we were able to gather modules with EDI potential from different levels of study, undergraduate and postgraduate. We also gathered modules that play various roles in the curriculum from each country, so we could analyze a wide perspective. And during the desk research, we also collected the description and main focus of each module. This allowed us to prepare a map that interprets the frequency of occurrence of keywords describing the modules. The gathered database enabled us to select a diverse sample of modules for further investigation in stage 2, where we conducted interviews with academic teachers. But now I will finalize the stage the first stage, with showing the how we present all the tools that we gather in 3 databases that present the tools that show the topic, project state, design area, and the availability of each tool. Is it open access or not? So the first database shows the toolkit, methodologies, and tools for EDI, and we have collected 33 examples that tackle different EDI issues, like understanding the spectrum of disabilities, but also addressing language, gender, or economic barriers. Database 2, it's a benchmarking analysis of inclusive education, and this database compiles methodologies, guidelines, and teaching tools for inclusive education, helping us understand how to implement inclusive teaching in different contexts. And database 3, it's teaching tools for digital environments, and this database is less structured, but it includes tools for creating inclusive teaching materials, designing user interfaces for inclusivity, and promoting flexible learning in higher education. And together, these databases are valuable resources for educators and institutions looking to enhance the inclusivity and diversity in education. And all of them are, of course, available on our website. And during the interviews, we primarily asked how EDI is understood, how the teachers implement them in the module program, and how it relates to the competences that are assessed by students. We also focused on the teacher's experience, particularly its practical aspect. Additionally, we discussed how the modules fits into the overall educational program. And what is the final result? We gathered many insights from each country and combined the teacher's experience into 15 best practices, which we divided in 3 categories: attitudes, knowledge, and skills. And these categories help us to organize and present what we have learned from the perspective of curriculum development. In the next few slides, I will share some examples, but all of our research outcomes are, of course, available on the project website. So designing social change requires breaking down barriers and patterns, which demands civil courage and mental resilience, qualities that not everyone possesses. This is why it is crucial to recognize students' openness and predispositions. Changing someone's belief system is difficult unless they are ready, as ethical issues are deeply personal and shaped by identity, culture, and values. Teachers shouldn't judge students' topics or solutions as better or worse, but should focus on observing changes in their approach. The assignments should leave a space for interpretation and various final outcomes. So this is the first best practice. Second one, also in the manner of knowledge, modules should present establishing EDI values and standards as an ongoing process. Students should be encouraged to engage critically, challenge the norms, and contribute to its development. At the same time, there are well-established scientifically approved standards. For example, like the neurodiversity design system, which combines neurodiversity with user experience design for learning interfaces. However, even when following these standards, testing with users can bring more effective solutions for specific context. And for effective implementation of EDI-related design, students should view their solution see their solution as changing the environment or system or context rather than just individual products. So this broader perspective help in understanding the wider impact of their work, but also who should be involved in the project, who is the important stakeholder. Among the examples gathered in our data tools and methods, there are examples that shows design as a system, like for example, Digital Ethics Compass. This tool allows designers to place their solution in a broader context to analyze potential consequences and address key ethical issues when developing digital products. And here the students can, by this tool, can discuss this kind of issues like personal data, impact of algorithms to manipulate our opinion, decisions, and the influence on our well-being. EDI values should be an integral part of designers' work. This is the next best practices. And this is not something separate from the rest of design. This also means that the user or specific stakeholder needs to be involved in the design process from the beginning. And for example, researchers from the TU Delft prepare a comprehensive study about it using, and they call it context mapping, something worth to look through. And the consequences of previous example is the next one, but from the other group, the group of skills. So working in the field with real people and their daily problems. And this experience leaves an emotional impact that can change students' understanding of the EDI approach. But also they improve their communication skills, they learn how to ask good questions, but also learn how to communicate their ideas. We need to build the awareness among students that the effectiveness of their projects can be verified only by testing it with the users. This kind of interaction with other people can also increase their engagement. And finally, so all those 15 best practices you can analyze through an interpretative map that we have prepared. And there is the collection of best practices linked with the teaching methods like learning by doing, workshop, inclusive learning, collaborative work. And in our reports, you can find how we define each best practice and teaching methods and tools. Each best practice is paired with a teaching method and recommended tools, digital or traditional. We have also developed a competency framework for students highlighting key elements such as empathy and the ability to accept feedback. As a result, the ability to focus on the goal rather than on personal ambitions is crucial. Among hard skills, we emphasize management skills for planning both the research process and implementation. Communication skills are equally important, especially in presentation and storytelling, where designers often act as the voice of the users. They can tell a story from the user's perspective and demonstrate how the future can be shaped. And in the end of this presentation, I would like to bring one issue that came up after the interviews. That one of the most important aim is to help students see that EDI values are and can be incorporated in their daily design practice, no matter what kind of domain they represent. To truly foster EDI awareness among students and staff, we need to enhance the discovery process of EDI values. Academic teachers should play a crucial role as moderators, guiding conversations that are authentic and insightful. Together, through meaningful dialogue with students, we teachers can uncover new perspectives step by step. While there is already a wealth of knowledge and tools available, real progress comes from engaging in discussions and learning by doing, where the reflection comes through real experience. I had the pleasure of working with a great team, and what I have presented is just a small part of our work. For me, this has also been a journey where I have come to appreciate the diversity of perspectives from each partner and every academic teacher we spoke with. We have analyzed a lot, but what stood out to me was the one phrase, adoption of an inclusive mindset. It highlights that this is a process and it will be different for each student, and we as teachers can support them in this journey. So this is all from my part. Thank you. And yes, so now Zuzanna Ceresnowa will tell us more about the next stage of the project.
Thank you very much, Marta. I will continue with work package 3, which is at the beginning because we started only 2 months ago and we will end in February 2026. So we are just at the beginning of work package 3, but it is based on huge work that was led by Marta and her team. So we will focus on creating a European framework which will be focused on how to implement the design for equality, diversity, and inclusion in different design fields. Because also as a partners, we are from different design fields. I am from architecture. My colleagues are from design fields in different sectors. For example, product design, service design, communication, and that's why we will create different modules, 5 different modules. Each partner will create a module that will be tested with students and stakeholders. Because this is, as was mentioned, a participatory process. So it means that we would like to create these modules together with students, with stakeholders, and to test it with them. And then we will also have modify a little bit what we created as a general framework. We will modify it according to the testing and the feedback from the students and stakeholders. Then we will propose this generalized framework as a European framework for other universities. Also, it will include different kinds of methodologies, content, expected results, and how to assess students' activities and results. So, for example, in our course, Universal Design at our faculty, we will use Universal Design for Learning as a method, inclusive method, which is respecting diversity of students in different fields in different types of, for example, learning preferences, modalities. If some is more visual, some is more using hearing learning types. Of instructions, and so it means that we are focusing on multiple means of delivering content, also multiple means in student assignments, and also multiple means in their engagement in different activities. The second method that we will use is universal design for instruction, because this method promotes interaction between students and teachers and create inclusive community of in a learning environment. So then we will try to improve our syllabus, not only in content, but also as for goals, what students should achieve. And I think that it is very necessary to think. This is example from a Faculty of Architecture and Design. It means that, for example, our students will be able to work with principles of inclusive design or universal design to create inclusive environment. Then they need to understand a diversity of people, to accept different needs and requirements of people, not only physical but also sensory and mental limitations, to identify the barriers in the environment or in not only in interior but exterior environment, and to use multisensory elements, because to think about diversity also in the level of cognitive meaning. So it means that they need to apply also this knowledge in practice. So, for example, we are using different topics and contents and modalities to better to help to students to better understand this topic. For example, human-centered design. We learn them how to use basic principles of universal design. Also, what is very important, they need to understand diversity in that way. They will use, for example, a wheelchair, or they will use a white cane when moving in an environment from the position of the person who is in a wheelchair or who is blind. So it means that they will test the environment also from this position. We call these kind of exercises empathic exercises or simulation exercises, because this is very important, as was mentioned, the empathy, to build an empathy of the students. Also, then we specify different student assignments and activities based on these topics. And for example, we're starting with analysis of accessibility of the environment, or we are checking if principles of universal design are implemented in the environment. For example, we are analyzing residential buildings, the apartment, layout of the apartment, or each space in this apartment, not only inside, also outside the building. So it means how it is adaptable to different needs. If this apartment is adaptable when someone will be older, or when someone will have some problems, then if it is necessary to move from the apartment, or if it is adaptable. So it is one of the basic skill to be able to identify these barriers. But on the other way, we need to use creative work of students, not only to analyze the barriers or identify them, but also to create something inclusive and interactive. That's why, for example, we are using this task to design interactive or multisensory exhibition, and to propose the exhibition, which will be very easy to understand also for children and for everyone. For example, you can see the monuments from Bratislava that are representing at the wall, and the children can catch the wall, they can play with them. They are in the scale, so they can understand differences of the scale of the buildings. So it means that it is very interactive and very understandable for everyone. What are expected results of teaching and what we will assess? So first of all, when we created this module and task and assignments, then we will work with students, and we work with them, and we have a consultation, and we can improve during the semester their seminar work. So it means that we will test how it was at the beginning, how it was improved, and also if they are able to understand all these requirements and to be able to understand, for example, these inclusive methodologies like design for all, universal design, and if they have good knowledge about this, it means that we will evaluate the work as a seminar work and as well as exam in a written or electronic form as a test of their knowledge. So this will be like assessment of their work. And finally, we will together, we will prepare a report which will provide new teaching contents on EDI for different design fields, as I mentioned, architecture, product design, system design, visual communication, etc. And the result will be a document containing a proposal for a generalized teaching model, which contain teaching methodologies for teachers, and also the nature of teaching contents, and as well as modalities for content delivery, and expected results from the students. As it was mentioned, it will be open access report, so in 5 languages. So it means that it will be available to be replicated in other universities in these design fields. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention, and I give the floor to Rosanna.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rosanna Gaddi. I am speaking on behalf of my dear colleague Alessia Brischetto from University of Florence, that is in charge of work package number 5, dedicated to dissemination, outreach, engagement with stakeholders. Well, I have worked with her since I am a visual design professor in the University of Chieti Pescara, together with Professor Rossi, in order to understand how to work in the communication phase of this very important work package. I think that I don't have to explain better what is this work, this research program. It's about ADI, it's about equality, diversity, and inclusion. There are topics so important, but what about not engaging in them? What about not giving people understanding the great chance to really share these values? Communication is the bridge that brings it into reality. And so we worked a lot about this topic of creating, first of all, a branding, so something that is remarkable, and visualizing our values with the same approach of the research program itself. So working with the RGB colors that melted together create that diversity we were talking about in the research program. Working with basic geometrical elements like kind of pixel that compose the reality that is so different and so consistent as well. So it was so important for us to engage even from the visual and communication part. This work won't be anything without engagement of people. That is why we are here talking about this project. That is why we are doing this research about teaching and methods in order to share this knowledge. And so our objective, our focus is promote the awareness. And first of all, promote the awareness in trying to engage young people, so students. So there will be the society of the future. And so they need to grow with these values and so be aware. Of course, our objective is to increase, but the focus is to engage, to promote, to inspire this kind of education dedicated to everybody, where diversity is the, let me say, normal situation. And so the effects in the next few years, I hope really soon, will be probably to maximize into the real teaching life these values. So not anymore a research program, but the normal teaching programs. Who are the beneficiaries? Of course, the society, we can say, in the long term, but immediately, of course, the higher education institution, including the research centers, the professionals, and the academic bodies, the NGO, the private companies. But I repeat, the real beneficiaries are people, the society, the person that will take advantage of those methods, and why not? It will spread even this kind of values. So I would, if possible, but I think it would be, ask you a great pleasure to help us to engage about these topics by doing it by yourself immediately. So please take your mobile, right? And of course, follow us in our website and our social. You can find them here. Just scan it. Please do it. Would be a second, really. It would took you a second. And I will ask you, I'm very happy to see a lot of young people here. So please follow our social, follow our Instagram, for example, profile. It is EDIDesK project, as you can see, because in there you will see always our updates, our activities, and why not our news about the topics.